Hey y'all, this is your favorite nurse Jenny. Welcome to the rescue room. As a Nigerian nurse that lives in Nigeria and currently works in Nigeria, on a daily basis, you could trust me that we'll meet different caliber of people. Some of these Nigerians could merely afford two square milk. Talk more of affording their medical bill. This kind of break my heart. And I was wondering, where did we even go wrong as a nation? How did we get to this? And based on this fact, I will be embarking on a 30-day series where I will be shining light on Nigerian biggest problem and sharing solutions to them so that you can also rescue yourself from these Nigerian syndromes or this Nigeia wahala. So if this resonates with you, I would like you to give me a like, a subscribe, follow, so that you can, and also on your notification button so that you can get my next update. So recently, or last week, let me just say last week, I was in the hospital where there's this neighbor of mine that sell akara on the road before the streets next to my hospital. So as I was sitting in the GOP, immediately I saw this woman rushing in with a 6-month-old baby, and she tied this baby with her faded ankara that barely could hold anything. And looking at this baby, you could tell that this baby is seriously ill. One, this baby was dehydrated. Secondly, this baby was suffering from malnutrition. And thirdly, after checking the oxygen saturation, you could tell that this baby lacks proper oxygen. So I was firstly, after informing my doctor, I was instructed to put oxygen for her, and after that I did an immediate nursing intervention that could help bring down the temperature, because the temperature was highly elevated. And also I turned on the oxygen cylinder and I ensured that the baby was comfortable. And I instructed the Samara to go to the cashier and made some deposit so that every other person that needed to see the child, if there's any other thing, could actually have access to her medical history and also have access to her file. And suddenly this woman went behind my back and she was crying. I saw her bringing out her phone, calling this auntie, calling this uncle, calling this friend, and in all this calling she was making, I was surprised that no one could even afford 15,000 to assist her to even make a deposit. And this woman sat outside, she was crying, and I was wondering what happened. Where did we get it wrong? What are we going to do to actually save women, actually save this current youth from going through, from suffering from this Nigerian syndrome? And what I did was that I went inside with her and I have to plead on her behalf before my boss that she was going to pay while we do the necessary thing, that while we arrest the exact condition that was actually there, while we treat the child. Let's say while we treat the child, so we're on it. And after some medical intervention, the child died. And I realized that it was not only the sickness or whatever diagnosis that was wrong with the child that killed Chisom, but it was also the Nigerian system. The Nigerian system failed her. Her parent also failed her. So I was wondering with my mind, I was just wondering within my heart, what can I do to ensure that this kind of thing does not occur? So let me tell you two things that you can do as a mother, as a youth, to currently escape this Nigerian syndrome. If you as a mother and then you don't have maybe you don't have a stable income and you are like Amara that fries akara on the roadside, what you should do is that after frying the akara, you can also go elsewhere and do a part-time work, maybe cleaning job. Maybe you go to your church, you ask women in your church if you can come around and clean their houses for them. Or if you cannot clean their house, you can offer to wash their clothes, and you will get paid to that. You will get paid for doing that. If you can also learn little skills like matting, like if you are not computer based, you can learn all these little trades. You can learn caterer, you can learn cleaning. So those are the little things you can do that can also add to your income. And as a youth that is currently suffering financially, you can also go ahead, know who you are. know who you are. Knowing who you are as a Nigerian will save you from this current Nigerian economy. Because we are told to go to school, that after going to school that we'll have certificate and then we can access work. But it's discovered that the scenario is no longer the same. So as a youth, after going to school, make sure you are learning a skill even as you are in school. Know who you are, know your inbuilt talent, know your skills. Most of the times these days, this current generation, is your skills that sells, no longer what you learn in school. So know who you are. Knowing who you are as a person and the ability to give that thing, your ability to monetize that thing that you are, that is another way you can help yourself as a youth. And medically, if supposing the mother noticed very well that the child was running temperature, what she should have done was for her to expose this child, to pinpoint the child, and then expose the child completely, and then run down to the hospital, not waiting for her to make money, the mistake Amara made was that she waited too long, because she was waiting so that she could sell akara to make money before she comes to the, but she waited too long. Before she could bring the child was already, the pulse of that child was already below 60. You see, it was very down. Even though the medical experts did everything they could do, but still there was no solution. So the best way to go about it is for you as the mother to get a thermometer at home. Once you notice that your child is kind of acting funny, make sure you keep the temperature in check, expose the child, tape the child, and that will be all for today. See you in my next video.